Hello and welcome to another verse of the day. Today we're beginning John chapter 15. We're going to start in verse 1 and work all the way over to 13a. So this is going to take us a couple weeks. Now you'll notice I don't have the verse brought up right now, and that's because I'd like to show you about a tool that I like using to help me prepare for these videos. The name of this tool is a book called A New Reader's Lexicon of the Greek New Testament. I've included a link in the description to Amazon where you can check this book out. But I'd like to tell you briefly what it does. Now, if you were a good student, in the first year of Greek, you memorized at least 300 words, all of the words in the New Testament that occur more than 50 times. Well, what this book does is it lists, verse by verse, all the words in the New Testament that occur less than 50 times. So if you take the words you already know and the words that the book gives you, it should allow you to recognize every single word in a verse and then be able to translate it. Now the reason I like this tool is because unlike software programs where you take your mouse and you magically wave it over a word and out pops not just the definition but the parsing, and basically you can just turn your brain off, here you'll notice with this first word, omphalos, which is a feminine noun meaning grapevine, there's no parsing here. This is not telling you how the word is functioning in the sentence, so you still have to do the work yourself. Now another thing I like about this tool is you notice these three numbers here. These numbers are telling you the frequency of the word in the New Testament. The 3 here is telling you how many times this word is used in the book of John. The 5 is telling you how many times it's used by the author John. And the 9 is telling you how many times it occurs in the New Testament combined. So if you look at the word alethinos, which means genuine or authentic, 9 times it occurs in John, 23 times in books written by John, and 28 times in the New Testament. That's enough times for me to think, okay, maybe this is a word that I should make a vocab card for. And finally, we have the word georgos, which means farmer. It's a masculine noun, and as you can see, it only occurs here in John and in books by John, but 19 times in the New Testament. So, check this book out if you want. I find it very helpful when I'm reading Greek for my devotionals because I don't have to spend too much time looking up words in lexicons. But of course, this doesn't replace a lexicon. As you can see, the definitions are very brief. So now, we've conveniently already covered what are the words we might not recognize in this verse. So go ahead and pause the video, take some time to translate it, and then we'll work through John 15:1 together. Alright, so what's the first question we always ask when looking at a new sentence? What is the main verb? In this sentence, with this kai joining 2 independent clauses, we've actually got 2 main verbs, and they're both be verbs. We've got emi and estin. Emi is present indicative first singular, and estin is present indicative third singular. And since these are be verbs, again, we will not be asking what's the subject and direct object, but instead what's the subject and the predicate. Now in the first sentence we've got a pronoun, and typically the pronouns will take the place of the subject, so I am, and then here our predicate is vine, and we've got an adjective that agrees with the word vine in number, case, and gender, describing it. I am the true vine. What's the subject in our second sentence? Well, it's the word father. The predicate is vine dresser. And here we have a genitive possessive pronoun my, which is modifying father. So this is a pretty straightforward verse. Let's go ahead and translate it. I am the true vine, and my father is the vine dresser. So that's our verse for the day.